And we are back!
Excellent. Welcome back. So, we're going to talk gear and all that fun stuff. Anna, you're going to be the most complicated because you are a fighter. As a fighter, I cannot recommend enough that you specialize in one type of weapon, either a melee weapon or a missile weapon. Swords, spears, bows, something like that.
Swords.
Okay, so we're going to give you a longsword specialization. That is good stuff. So on the second page of your character sheet, under weapon proficiencies, put longsword, and under slots, put 2. You have pretty low strength, right? It's like 14.
Yeah.
So I recommend you take a splint mail proficiency as well, because you're going to start with splint mail armor, and that will basically cut the weight of it in half for you, which then you're less likely to be encumbered then.
Cut the weight of my sword in half?
Your splint mail.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So splint mail proficiency. And then just pick a bunch of weapons that sound cool to you.
How many can I have?
What's your intelligence?
I think it's like 11.
Then you can have 4, 5, 6, 7.
And I can be proficient in all of them?
Yeah, but you can have 7 slots. We're using 1 for your armor, and we're using 2 for your longsword. So that means you have 4 left. Please? Yeah, 4 more weapons.
Do they have to be melee, or can they just
No.
be anything?
Whatever you want.
Okay, well, I think about it. Does someone else want to work on their
gear? Sam, you get to pick 1 weapon.
Yeah, whoa, what a choice!
And it has to be a really simple, easy-to-use weapon. No swords, no bows, nothing like that. Quarterstaff is usually the go-to, but you could do like a whip or a dagger or something like a sling, maybe.
A whip? That sounds pretty interesting. I think I'll just go to the default quarterstaff.
Nice. Mark that on the second page of your character sheet.
Okay.
Jen, you get 2 weapons.
Woo!
But again, they have to be kind of simple rogue weapons. So a short sword is okay, a dagger is okay, a quarterstaff, a crossbow, a short bow, but no like tridents or pole arms or anything like that.
I wanted to go with the trident,
No. No.
Short bow. It's short bow. What's the difference between short bow and crossbow? I feel like short bow
is significantly better.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going short bow.
Cool. And one more.
I have short sword.
Short bow and short sword.
Short. Yeah.
Cool.
I guess short sword.
And
sure.
Steph, I gotta look this up because I don't remember clerics, but I think you get 3. Nope, you get 2 as well.
Between all of that?
Yeah, you can pretty much pick whatever you want. Now, we didn't really talk about what type of deity you worship. You're a cleric, right? So what type of cleric? Let me give you a list of gods. And they're kind of who they are, sort of things. What sort? Do you kind of just want to be like a general cleric? Do you want to be a cleric that is specifically like a war cleric or a war cleric?
A war cleric, definitely.
Okay, so you are a cleric of Bellum, the god of war.
Bellum?
Bellum.
God of war. Okay.
So you can pretty much pick whatever you'd like, but a cleric for Bellum would probably use some sort of spear or sword and shield.
A spear is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It fits with my eye dex, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't synergize at all, but it makes lore sense.
They don't synergize?
No.
Okay. Spear. Deal.
A shield doesn't go under weapon proficiencies, right? It goes under armor.
Yeah, you don't need a shield proficiency though.
Okay.
You can just use them automatically. So you're gonna pick a spear and then get another weapon, Steph, or you can pick your armor. Since what your strength is, I think 12. It might be nice to have an armor proficiency.
14.
That way you're not 14.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So you can pick another weapon, or you can pick an armor to decrease the weight of your heavy armor. Your call.
I won't take another weapon. So how does it, like, I take armor to decrease the weight of my heavy armor?
Yeah, so you're going to pick chainmail as your second weapon proficiency. And that way, instead of the chainmail weighing 40 pounds, it's going to weigh 20 pounds.
Okay, I'll take chainmail.
Cool.
Okay, I'm ready whenever.
Sweet. As for non-weapon proficiencies, rather than going through and picking the whole list and blah, 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 which would take a while, I want you guys between now and next week to kind of like think about your character background and give me like a little blurb about what you did before you went off to be a soldier. Like, what was your profession? What were you, a farmer? Were you a seamstress? Were you a tailor? Were you a cobbler? You know, and then we're going to just pick what you know how to do, your proficiencies based on what you were in life before you were a soldier. Unless you were a professional soldier, in which case we'll finesse it out between you and me.
Okay.
Works. Oh, and we didn't share that, but during the break we established that my character used to be in a Thieves Guild, so I have contacts in a nearby city from a Thieves Guild.
Cool. Okay, is there anything else you guys have questions about or want to do, or do we want to hop into things?
Do I have an armor? Like,
oh, you're going to have leather or studded leather armor. Oh shit, Jen, you got to pick your thief skills.
Oh shit.
So you have 120 points. Do you have the player's handbook, Jen?
Not second edition. I have 5th.
Okay.
You can just give me the list and I'll...
Well, there's a table that gets filled out based on your race and class. Or I'm sorry, your race and dex.
Huh.
Let me shoot that over to you. I forgot about thief stuff. Here you go. Take a look at that, and you're going to want to go to page...
Okay.
You're going to want to go to page... Oh god, it's not showing. Where's the...
Thieving skill base score, is that it?
Yeah, there you go. So those are going to be your base scores, and then if you go down a little bit lower, based on your race, there's a modifier, and then based on your dexterity, there's a modifier.
It tells me table 26, but I don't see any...
Scroll down.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, to be honest.
Scroll down. You'll still see a table eventually.
Out of the 577 pages?
It's no. So, just do a search for table space 26, and you'll find it.
Table 26.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
There you go. So start with those base scores, then modify them for your halfling, which is on table 27,
Okay.
and then modify them for your dexterity on table 28, and then add 120 points to wherever you want, but no more than 60 to any given one.
Okay. All right, so I got some work.
You got some work cut out for you.
Right.
Excellent. So, the four of you all knew each other in the war. And in terms of war, we are talking. Well, first off, let's talk about the town that we're going to be basing this in. You guys are all from the town of Flatstone, which is part of the Altheras Kingdom. And the war that you guys were involved in was against the Stormtide Kingdom, which is just to the west of you. The Stormtide Kingdom is this very large navy-based empire. They have control of these islands in this bay, whose name I have forgotten and not put on the map, but that's okay. And they just kind of they've controlled the borders of the land. They control the coastlines all over the place. And as of late, they've been trying to push inland a little bit and have started to threaten the territory in and around the Altheras Kingdom. The Altheras Kingdom is named after their capital city of Altheras. They're not very creative there. The capital of the Stormtide Kingdom. Excuse me?
Are we the Altheras Kingdom?
You guys all are Altharians. The Stormtide Kingdom's capital is Tide's End, and it is perhaps the largest city in the entire world. That's what they claim, and certainly you can't actually even imagine a city larger than Tide's End. It is massive. It is just ridiculously massive. The Stormtide Kingdom is noted for their cruelty, their ruthlessness, and their greed. The nobles just kind of control everything and send off their raiders to do stuff, and the people that are part of their kingdom are really just like they're more like how would you say? Think about the Vikings. If the Vikings were actually like super fucking organized under one single empire rather than just like lots of other people doing the shit. So there's all these towns up and down the coastlines that get constantly raided, which are part of their kingdom, but instead of paying taxes, like people just show up in boats and like, give us all your loot or we're gonna kill you all. So the Stormtide Kingdom is kind of a scary, ruthless place. Unfortunately for them, their strength lies in their navy. So as they try and push inland, they don't do too well. They can hold a city, but when it comes to like moving through the forest to go take a new town or a new city, they tend to have some serious problems. So they got as far as Copper Stop, which is kind of the area where you guys were fighting with them. There are a couple of towns that over the course of the war were destroyed. And if you are looking at the map, which I am going to link to you guys in chat, and hopefully somebody, maybe one of my mods will post it in Misscliks chat as well. But so you guys were fighting in and around Copper Stop, kind of to the forest to the north. Maybe the tide of battle pushed you guys back to Farark. Who named these towns?
Are we in the...
When Misscliks?
Yeah, do we go to the Misscliks map or the normal...
Oh, no, just start on the normal one. Yeah.
I'm trying to find these cities you're talking about.
In the upper left-hand corner, there's a little searchy bar.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put in, Flatstone, which is all one word. It's a little tiny village just north of the Highvale mountain range.
This is a large map. Holy cow.
Yes.
Okay. I see Flatstone. And so they were coming from the
Tide's End to the far west.
Okay, gotcha.
You can use your mouse wheel to kind of like scroll out and get a better view.
Okay, I see the Stormtide Kingdom with all the islands.
With all the islands. Which
wow, and they got that far?
They got to Copper Stop, and that's kind of where when your term of service was ended, you guys came back. The war is still going on, but you guys have already put in your 2 years or whatever it was.
I see.
Yeah.
So we put in our 2 years for our kingdom, for Altheras, but for some reason we now don't feel like the governance of Altheras is just, and we're against them.
Yeah, well, that's where we're going to be coming in. The general idea is that you you went off to war because you were called to do so, and as you come back, you find out that things are not that great here. The people are overtaxed. The rule of law has been somewhat corrupted. Instead of, if someone has a problem, usually you take it to the local lord or to maybe like a higher court to argue about it and be like, hey, this isn't fair. And as of late, like as you're traveling back, you hear all these stories about peasants who have had their entire farms just like raided and completely looted by the Altharian kingdom. Like, we need all of your animals for the war, so we're just going to take them all. We're not even going to pay you anything. We're just going to take them all. And you hear stories like this of people just having their entire life savings, their entire family's life savings, just picked up by the kingdom and just taken to support the war effort.
Unfair taxation.
Seriously unfair taxation and very, very little representation.
We hate that.
Yeah. It wasn't so bad in the West, surprisingly, because the war was happening in the West. But as you got closer and closer to Flatstone, you heard more and more about these. You heard more of these stories about the local lord using the war as an excuse to like take a flock of cattle. They're not called flocks. The herd of cattle, or stealing a stable full of horses. And you guys have been in Flatstone for all of 2 weeks, and we're going to come into play just after the tax man comes through town and demanded 50% of your life savings in order to pay your taxes.
And we all live in the same town?
Yeah, you guys are all from Flatstone, just to
Okay.
make it easy for us. So the tax man has come through. He just left yesterday, and he came through with his nice, force of troops. He's got like 30 guys with him as he goes around collecting taxes, and literally took half of your wealth.
Do we have any wealth right now?
Not anymore, because your wealth is considered all of your gear. So you've got splint mail, you've got a sword, you've got a helmet, you've got a shield, and then you had like 60 gold. He's like, well, I'm going to take 30 of your gold, plus your gear is worth about this much, so you actually owe me 55 gold. So you're like, are you serious? Like, you just took, 55 out of my 60 gold. What the hell? And so we come into everything the next day. You guys are in Flatstone, meeting up at your local tavern called Wings.
Wings.
Wings? Okay,
Wings.
local tavern.
Can we do kind of a introduction, like sitting there, just each of us say, I'm sitting here doing this, I look like this.
Oh yeah.
This is how I talk.
Yeah. So this is how we will come into play. You guys are sitting in Wings, having just been ridiculously overtaxed for all of your shit. And it's the next morning after they came through, and you guys are sitting around the bar, sitting around a table at the tavern, kind of, it's like, just a few hours after sunup. You've already had your breakfasts, and you're just hanging around looking at each other, exchanging glances. Please give me your descriptions. What do you look like, Anna? You're sitting there, how?
I am slumped in my chair, and I have like a flagon of ale, and I'm kind of like swirling it. I've drank most of it, but I'm just like kind of depressed about it. And I have this big, wild, curly brown hair, and I have one green eye and one brown eye, and I'm just looking all morose. You don't like that, Neil?
Keep going.
Why can't I have two color eyes?
No,
That doesn't
no,
make
you
any
absolutely
sense.
can. It's just, your character is ridiculous.
Well, doesn't that make sense?
Keep
I
it
didn't-
going. I'm not stopping
These
you.
characters
keep
just
it
come
going.
to me on the bus, man. I can't create them. Okay, anyways. And I'm just sitting there morosely, and you guys know that it's because I come because we're friends, right? Like, we know stuff about each other, so I should tell them what they know about me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys know that I come from a family that once had some nobility, not like high class, but just like, you know, lesser nobility. But when I was born or we were born and were super weird, and no one accepted that we were twins and thought that just Tamsin was crazy because she's usually the more dominant voice, and obviously she's the female, so that's what people perceive her as. My father kind of took us on the road away from the life of nobility. So I kind of he taught me and educated me with what he knew as a noble, so I can like read and like, you know, some basic type of stuff that I would know at court. But then specifically, he was well trained with the sword, so we just kind of had this gypsy lifestyle of going around, and he would teach me how to use the sword and you know, take me to different towns and stuff. So basically, I grew up wanting to be a mighty warrior, or we grew up wanting to be mighty warriors. And so our whole life, we have just wanted to like prove ourselves on the field of battle and kind of prove that our worthiness to the realm, because we have this like complex from being basically shunned from the nobles. So we went to war wanting to like prove ourselves for our country. And then now that we've come back and we've seen all of kind of how the people are oppressed, we realize that like maybe we're fighting for somebody who doesn't deserve to be fought for, and we're just trying to figure out what to do next.
What are you wearing? I mean, you've got splint mail on, but what do you look like with all your gear up? What colors do you wear? What sort of weapons and armor do you have? Do you have a shield? Yada yada.
Yes. Oh, I'll tell you all of the weapons I chose. I have my longsword. I have splint mail that I'm wearing, and then I have a quarterstaff, some daggers, a garrote, a blowgun, and a battle axe. So I'm pretty decked out with stuff I'm carrying, and I carry them pretty visibly. Like, I'm pretty proud of my weapons. So unlike December, who some of you may remember that everything was hidden, like pretty obvious that we are a warrior. We are warriors. I'm gonna have to figure out the tenses. And I kind of look like a grown-up, grittier version of Merida from Brave. So like green tunic, but not a dress, like tunic and leggings and boots and lots of like earthy looking colors that kind of are in the shape of like a uniform of some kind, but obviously civilian.
Okay. Steph, what do you look like?
Can I have a dagger in my hands, or is this something I'm not allowed to since I chose spear and chainmail?
No, you can have a dagger. You just
can play with one of my daggers.
Alright, so I'm always playing with a dagger, and I always seem like pensive, whatever. So I'm like playing with a dagger on the table, like scratching it. I'm sitting like my legs wide open, kind of like I can't really do it, but like, you know, like just caught, like I seem really preoccupied. Again, my hair is short. I have blue eyes, and I have scars. Like, you know, you can see that I went to battle even though I'm 22. And I just look like, I look at everyone and I'm like this, I can't, like, we can't let this happen anymore. This has to stop. That's not any of the values I was lived with throughout my 22 years. This is not it. This is not it. It doesn't feel right. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. What do you look like though? What appearance-wise?
What?
Like hair. I mean, we know your height and weight, but you know, do you wear your armor proudly or sadly, heavily? What type of colors? Yada yada.
I mean, I'm all in black. My hair is blonde and short. Like I was saying, like cut with the front cut, so short at the back, long at the front. I'm wearing black gray clothes.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. And Sam.
I'm sitting in between Sully and the twins. and I'm just kind of there by myself, like in my own little world, just counting my mushrooms in the bag and like kind of licking them and tasting them, and then just be like looking over there. Oh, hi, nice to see you. But there's like no one in the corner. I'm just like talking to some random spirit, and I just go back. And I just examine my mushrooms, and I'm kind of not really paying attention to my environment. Because growing up, I was mostly like alone, a recluse, and I wasn't really outside, you know, trying to socialize with my village. And, you know, that's why people call me Rocker, because I'm a crazy lady who always mess with potions. And I just kind of fiddle around in my little pouch and go through my spell book, and you can just, I have unkempt hair and deep wrinkles. You can see that I'm just kind of like fatigued from battle, but at the same time, I just really don't mind, because I'm like more on the neutral side, because I just don't really care too much one way or the other. And can I have 2 colored eyes too?
Sure.
Heck yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking messing with so many potions, I've had accidents where I've changed my eye color. So right now I currently have an orange and a yellow eye.
Ooh, cool.
And I don't think I picked my armor. Do I just have like robes?
You wouldn't have any armor.
I
Yeah,
just have
you
like
just have.
robes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have, they were white robes, but they kind of got to a dingy gray, but you see splotches of, bright colors from where I spilled, like, potions and powders, and my quarterstaff is just leaned against the table, and like I said, I'm just, like, in my own little world right now, not paying attention. That's pretty much it.
When Rocker drops, like, as she, like, is going through her stuff, if she drops any of her ingredients, then the twins just kind of, like, mindlessly pick it up and give it back to her and, like, go back to brooding. Because they really like Rocker, because Rocker actually accepts them as 2 individuals when a lot of people don't.
Just, as you hand it over to me, I'm just pretty cautious. I kind of look up at you, like, and I put it back in my pouch, and, like, before I put it in, I'm like,
Right.
And the twins are just used to that, so they're like, yeah, whatever. And they're just, like, morosely swishing their ale.
Jen.
Alright, so my character is completely the opposite. She's like looking around like really nervously, writing down everything in her little notebook, like making squiggly drawings, making lines to like connect things together. Like someone orders a beer, she notes it. She's like, Men in Black ordered beer at 5:56. And then she's like, oh, 5 minutes ago someone ordered, and I'm like mumbling to myself. I'm like, okay.
I'm with a
Okay.
bunch of crazy.
And I'm like my look is super neat and tidy, like always perfect. My hair is held up in a ponytail, and I always fix my hair to like be perfect. I have like nervous tics where I like make sure my hair is okay, make sure my things are okay, and I'm like.
So we should just rebrand this show Psycho Vigilante.
Pretty much like PTSD, the show.
Yeah.
So like I have 2 pretty extravagant items. One of them is the feather with which I note things, and the other one is my gigantic horn for playing music. And they kind of distract away from my thieves' tools and my bow and my sword. Anyway, I have a cape, dark cape. My clothes are dark. I also have I want to have a scar over my left eye. That happened when I tried to steal something from a rich person.
Okay.
And in order to distract people from it, I like to wear very dark makeup, and I have bangs that I tend to push over my eye to cover the scar. So I also have that nervous tic of like placing my So yeah, I like look over everywhere really anxiously, noting everything.